Stay in touch with us on Facebook and Instagram at Unique Yet Connected. You are now listening to episode 54 of Unique Yet Connected podcast. The theme for this episode is it a relationship that makes us human?
Stability means finding people who regulate you well and staying near them. Thus, we find stability through relationships. The emotional need to be in relation with other people is part of what innately makes you human. You need it to survive like you need food and drink.
Hello, brilliant souls in and around the world. Nolitha Fenton is my name. Dolokazi is my clan name. And this is episode 54. A warm welcome to Unique Yet Connected podcast. And as always, Kinga and Nika on the other side of the virtual. Over to you, Kings.
Thank you, Noli. Hello, dear listeners and co-editors. I am Kinga Silaidi.
Thank you for joining our movement of translating this wisdom of systemic family constellations into a practical language that all of us can easily understand and implement in our daily lives.
Why do relationships have such a great importance in our lives? Aristotle said, man is by nature a social animal. He can't but live in society. According to Indra Thorsten, recent brain research confirmed Aristotle's finding. Adults remain social animals. They continue to require a source of stabilization outside themselves. People cannot be stable on their own, not should or shouldn't, but can't be. The limbic emotional part of our brain does not allow this. Stability means finding people who regulate you well and staying near them. Thus, we find stability through relationship. And as I mentioned already, this emotional need to be in relation with other people is part of what innately makes us human. You need it to survive, like you need food and drink.
I now totally get it why, or rather challenging for people to be without relationship at times. And I've seen this and I couldn't understand it, but this makes it so clear to me now. I mean, if being in a relationship is a basic human need, why does it seem like we don't value them as much as we should when we are in them? Does that come from our unfulfilled yearning, Kings?
Yes, I would say, how can you love someone who doesn't give you what you need most? How can you value a relationship that makes you suffer by not fulfilling your needs and expectations?
So we don't value each other because we don't fulfill our unfulfilled yearnings. Just to clear this up again, is it me who's supposed to deal with my unfulfilled yearnings? Not my husband, not my siblings, not my parents, not my friends, not my colleagues, not my children. Me. Is that correct?
That is correct. Aristotle said, anyone can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not easy.
Wow, that is so profound. That's definitely not easy, especially if you have to be angry with yourself.
No, you shouldn't be angry with yourself. We're just as kind to ourselves and yourself as you are to other people. And yeah, you have to be careful not to be too harsh on yourself. I love the systemic family constellation work because it's a holistic counseling method and it heals and transforms your relationship issues. It heals the deeply underlying cause of the problems and not the symptoms. So you don't have to be angry at yourself. You can find the cause of the problem. And what do I mean on the symptoms in a relationship? fighting, abusive partner, alcoholism, infidelity, etc. Some would say these are the causes, but the systemic work looks at them as symptoms.
Thank you for that, Kings. I'll be kind to myself. But one of my favorite lines or messages from the systemic work I'm always reminding myself of is that my ancestors want me to live my life to the fullest. I just want to clarify, can societal or church or whatever conditioning affect our concept and beliefs about relationship? Where do our concepts come from?
Yes, they are part of your cultural background and definitely they alter your concepts about life. Where do the concepts of your life come from? Most of the other therapies say they come from your childhood, but the systemic work goes beyond that. It is more holistic. Yes, you have your own experiences and you create concepts according to them. But in addition to these, you also have your ancestors' experiences and they will come into play in your relationships.
I'm beginning to understand this holistic approach of systemic work. It makes total sense to my soul that our ancestors' experiences can come into play in our relationships. You are now listening to episode 54. The theme is it a relationship that makes us human? Remember, when you comment, ask questions, like, and share our content and links, you help us grow together and change lives together. Like us on Facebook and on Instagram.
This quote represents what we are busy unpacking in this new chapter of the Unique Yet Connected podcast. When two people meet and fall in love, there is a sudden rush of magic. Magic is just naturally present then. We tend to feed on that precious magic without striving to make any more. One day we wake up and find that the magic is gone. We hustle to get it back, but by then it is usually too late. We have used it up. What we have to do is work like hell at making additional magic right from the start. It is hard work, but if we can remember to do it, we greatly improve our chances of making love stay. This is from Tom Robbins, The Still Life with a Woodpecker.
This is so well put. In the way he says it, that we work like hell trying to get the magic back, and once it's used up, you know? What a relatable statement. What I'm hearing here is that while there is still magic, right in the midst of that bliss, we must remember to create additional magic to improve our chances of a lasting love. Almost all of us want the love to lasting relationships and the love to last as long as it can. That's why we talk of forever. I was once in a relationship where I felt the person had no concept of what it means to keep working in a relationship. Or maybe the magic was already gone from the relationship and I didn't know this. Or they really thought that the magic could sustain itself. What is Tom Robbins really saying, Kings, in this?
What he's saying that the thinking that when you are in love, then love will automatically take care of itself, and that relationships should be easy is a damaging myth. Contrary to popular beliefs, healthy relationships require effort. It requires you to work on yourself and on the relationship.
Since episode 32, we started to look into the natural development stages of a relationship that corresponds with our inner child development stages. Here, the development stages are separated by the development phases of our identity in our relationships. As an added benefit, the development stages are also nicely linked in with the systemic family constellations work. As it always is with systemic work, the present is rooted in the past. Even though we are in a new chapter of our podcast series, the perspective of the episodes are still based on the basic principles of the laws of love. In this new chapter, we are opening up the laws of love by going deeper into our most intimate relationships and love life.
John Bradshaw, the internationally acclaimed author of the book Homecoming and an inner child healing expert, mentioned in one of his talks how our relationship goes through the same development patterns that our childhood development should go through, moving from codependent to counter-dependent to independent, and finally reaching inter-independent. Psychoanalyst Erik Erikson divided our psychological development stages into 8 different stages. Quite unbelievably, by age 14, we go through 4 of them: the infant, toddler, play, and school age. The 5th one is adolescence, where we combine everything that we learned in the first 4 stages. The inner child development is identity development. It answers the question of who are you in this world? Every development stage, you have to go through a so-called identity crisis and come out with a newly developed ego strength. This crisis is very important and necessary and pushes you to grow. When the crisis has been successfully dealt with, you come out of it stronger and wiser than what you were before the crisis hit you. This strong ego might sound like a bad thing because you were made to feel that it is unhealthy when your ego is strong, but actually, the stronger your ego is, the more your healthy independence is developed and the more you are able to move beyond the ego. Because it is strong, it becomes not needy. The deeper your understanding of your identity is, the more you are able to choose to cover it up with love and be compassionate with other people. In the natural stages of the development of relationships, the partner's ego and own identity is allowed and supported to blossom into fullness. A healthy, strong ego is good for everyone. I know it sounds like a paradox.
A healthy ego sounds about right, but yes, it does sound like a paradox because a lot of the teachings I've listened to talk about letting go of the ego. This is a new insight. Thank you for that part about embracing crisis and that after the crisis, something else grows in the relationship and something new.
I believe what is often not mentioned in the different teachings is that there is an ego that is wounded and there is an ego that is healthy. When the ego develops in a healthy way, this healthy ego connects to other people by choice and not because it's forced to connect from the place of lack and try to have its unfulfilled needs filled by someone else.
Thank you for that clarity. And it brings such real relief to know that there is a wounded and healthy ego, and the healthy ego is not needy.
Yes, it is not needy. It chooses to depend on other people because it wants connection. The healthy ego is very different from the needy one. The connection between the development stages and the ego strengths are very important because you come out from different stages with different knowledge and different strength. To experience healthy codependency at the beginning of your life is very important because it creates innate trust and hope in you for the later stages of life. The codependent stage of your relationship is important and necessary exactly for the same reasons.
This is amazing to hear. There's so much liberation in what you said. I'm now realizing that the codependent stage is healthy. So that is why in a new relationship, you spend so much time in that closeness because we develop that trust and the hope to grow together. Is there a way to bypass these stages? Just asking for a skeptical friend.
No, they are the natural stages of the development of a relationship. They all are necessary stages, and because of that, they are the healthy way of learning to connect. They build on each other, even though they can feel difficult because in all stages, as we mentioned, you have to go through a crisis to develop the resilience to be able to move into the next stage. While we are looking into each stage one by one, we will talk about good things and bad things that are linked to that certain stage.
They follow our childhood development of creating relationships with ourselves, with our identity. If you really think about it, who do you have a relationship with? yourself. The question is, who am I in this relationship? Concerning our identity, we reach the highest stage of the relationship when we recognize that we actually are two independent people in a mutually supportive relationship. That is the highest level of a corporal relationship. It can take up to 20 years for our relationship to reach this stage. Of course, the time needed depends on the original woundedness of the two people when they get together and on their willingness to work on healing themselves, and with that, helping their relationship to grow into a beautiful wholeness. And with those words and insight and everything that was in this relationship, this is where we're going to end this episode.
Thank you for your contribution in helping us to be chosen into the top 10 South Africa Family Podcasts by Feedback. Join our monthly virtual connection circle every last Tuesday evening of the month. To receive your link, subscribe on our website www.uniqueyetconnected.com or check for updates on our socials at uniqueyetconnected.
Join us on our next episode as we explore the natural developments of a romantic relationship.
If you feel like you are experiencing limiting patterns or relationship issues and would like to have an individual session, book a family constellation session with us on our website www.uniqueyetconnected.com or on our socials, Facebook or Instagram. Our handle on both platforms is at uniqueyetconnected.
A big thank you to you for listening to our episode and to Nick Mons from That Guy Productions for making us sound fabulous and on point. Episode 55 is in 2 weeks' time from now. Tune in on the 15th of September 2024 from 10 a.m. South African Standard Time. For links and updates, stay tuned on our Facebook and on Instagram pages at Unique Yet Connected, unique spelled YOUNIQUE. Stay unique, stay connected, and remember, you are one of a kind and we can only create a really meaningful podcast together. Siyabulela, Kosonom, till the next episode.
Thank you. Siyabulela, Kusunum.